Real estate markets shift quickly. What works in early spring can completely stall out by a windy autumn afternoon on the South Shore. Because the market is constantly moving, the number you put on your listing is an active marketing tool. It dictates exactly who pays attention to your house. Naturally, you want top dollar. The immediate instinct is to set the price high, so you have plenty of room to negotiate down when an offer comes in. But blindly guessing or relying on traditional bartering tactics costs you money and time. Buyers today have instant access to exactly what homes are worth. If you understand the tension between how buyers think and what the local data actually says, you can price your home to sell quickly without leaving your equity on the table. This graph maps the penalty for aiming too high. With days on market across the bottom and final sale price on the side, an inflated price brings 0 offers. Your payout drops sharply as buyers assume hidden defects, forcing a price slash. The opposite error is equally dangerous. Slapping a low price on a house without a plan hands your hard-earned equity over to a lucky buyer. You need a deliberate and mechanical approach. You have to evaluate specific strategies to engineer either a reliable, fast closing or a competitive bidding war. To maximize your return, you have to separate your emotional attachment to the house from the math required to sell it. No pricing strategy in the world will fix a house that isn't ready to be shown. You need fresh paint on the walls, spotless floors, completely clear countertops, and sharp, professional staging. It requires giving up your weekends to prep, spending a little cash up front, and living out of boxes. But that labor yields the highest return on investment of the entire process. Once the house is dialed in, you run a reality check using comparable sales. You look at exactly what buyers paid in the last 90 days for homes in your neighborhood with your square footage. Pristine condition proves to the buyer that your house is worth the baseline numbers established by those recent local sales. This strategy matrix outlines your 3 options, starting here at the top with pricing precisely at market value. You take the exact numbers from your recent neighborhood comps and list the house right at that average. Active buyers who are pre-approved and watching your zip code will see a fair price, tour the property, and write solid, predictable offers. It offers a highly probable, smooth path to the closing table. You secure your equity, but you almost certainly eliminate the chance of a frantic bidding war pushing the price up. You are trading the absolute maximum profit ceiling for safety and peace of mind. Next is the aggressive approach, pricing slightly below market value. You deliberately list a home 2 to 5% lower than the data suggests it's worth, pair it with spotless staging, and launch it on a Thursday. Active buyers immediately recognize they are looking at a premium house at a discount. That creates instant artificial scarcity and a sense of panic that they will miss out. A seller in Raynham used this exact approach recently. The local market was cooling off and buyers were getting picky. Instead of playing it safe, the seller heavily prepped the house and intentionally priced it under the comps. Within 48 hours, multiple buyers submitted offers. They began outbidding each other to secure the home, driving the final contract well above actual market value. Cautionary: there is a real psychological risk here. If the market is completely dead or your listing photos look dark and cluttered, you might end up selling your house for less than it's worth. It is a mechanical lever. You accept a few days of high anxiety to generate intense competition and maximum financial leverage. Finally, we look at the most dangerous option on the board, pricing above market value. You ignore the comparable sales and list higher than the neighborhood average because you added a custom kitchen or finished the basement. In a perfect scenario, an emotional buyer looking for exactly those features falls in love and meets your high number. But the math is entirely against you. The vast majority of buyers filter out overpriced homes. Your days on the market stack up and your listing rots on the vine. Unless you own something genuinely impossible to duplicate, like an unbuildable waterfront lot, stretching the price almost always ends in a loss. The best strategy comes down entirely to your personal timeline and your tolerance for risk. This scorecard breaks it down into 2 distinct seller profiles. On the left is the optimizer. You have a flexible timeline, cash to invest in prep work, and you are comfortable taking calculated risks. Use the below-market strategy. Make the house flawless, lower the initial price, and force the buyers to fight over it.
On the right is the efficiency profile. You are short on time, you hate anxiety, and you want a smooth, guaranteed transaction over squeezing out every last dime. Use the at-market strategy. Anchor your price strictly to reality, capture the serious buyers, and close on schedule. Both profiles should stay far away from the above-market strategy. The number you put on your listing dictates how the rest of your sale will unfold. Look at the local data, clarify your personal priority, and execute the strategy that fits. To get a custom pricing review for your home, reach out to Lou Corcoran at Better Living Real Estate.